Welcome back to another In the Rough podcast. I think we're on 41 odd now, and we've had a couple of weeks we missed out on, so got loads to recap. Obviously, looking at waste management coming up this weekend. Obviously, Pebble Beach, some exciting stuff from last week, and obviously lots of hot topic and gossip really around the Saudi Invitational, the money associated with that, what has actually been offered to players, and susceptible Bryson injuries that are a bit suspicious, but lots to talk about. But obviously, should we start with the Waste Management Open and we'll work our way back? So it kicked off with the Pro-Ams yesterday, and then a few people had some good starts already, I think.
Yay, golf, excitement, 16th hole.
I would go as far to say probably my favourite hole in the world.
Really?
From Sawgrass?
No, I still think it's more entertaining. Sawgrass, I think, is challenging and interesting, but I think from a atmosphere perspective, I
just think it shows if you had fans who were able to just walk around and shout and scream like any other sport, it would make it a lot more entertaining.
Isn't that exactly what Brooks' comment was? That it feels like a normal sport when people boo you and when people celebrate.
Yeah. Said for once. But did you see the guy in the Pro-Am yesterday shank it straight into the cameraman?
It's the guy from The Bachelor.
Yeah, I've never seen.
How does someone like that get to do something like that? It's such.
He was wearing dungarees. As soon as I saw him walk out wearing dungarees, I thought it's not going to end well. And lo and behold, he almost kills somebody. So, but
I mean,
yeah,
no shoes.
I can relate as to that might be something I do.
When was the last time you actually played golf?
I went to the range last weekend.
Okay.
And it had a top tracer, and I got some stock yardages for all of my clubs.
Are they stock yardages or are they just yardages for the day?
Yardages for the day, naturally.
Okay.
With my clients, I had a consistency of about 70%, according to Top Tracer, whatever that means.
It's consistency of distance. I mean, 70% is not bad going at an amateur level. I'd probably take that.
Yeah, so the distance was actually fairly consistent, whether I thinned it or whether I actually hit it flush. Where it ended up in terms of location, that was that was a slight variation.
I'm sure that's how it's supposed to work. The distance should be the same.
There you go. Well, Tom, you'll be pleased to know the Kingfisher Golf Club around the corner at Deanshanger has just opened their top tracer driving range as well.
Oh, how exciting!
I know. I went there yesterday. They've got beers and everything. It's basically Top Golf, but for poor people. It's really good fun.
I don't drink anymore, so.
Range does.
Did you say you don't drink anymore?
Yeah.
Why?
I just don't want to.
Oh, all right. Sorry, I'm just looking at how I remove you from this call.
Do you want to think about converting religions as well?
No.
What? You sure?
I wouldn't be converting either because I'm not religious in the first place.
Yeah.
I would be finding a religion.
How do you feel about finding religion?
No, I don't believe in God, I'm afraid.
You don't believe in God or alcohol? What's the point?
Will you get married in a church?
I don't know. Probably not.
Oof.
Well, anyway, we've sidetracked massively to marriage. Right, back to it. The waste management. What's everyone's thoughts? We talked about the one at TV Sawgrass being, well, as entertaining as that potentially. What about that par 3 at the Masters where everyone gathers round potentially?
That Pebble Beach is the other one where it's obviously got a really famous par 3.
Yeah.
I think Nicholas said that's the course he'd played if that was his last ever go around a golf course. But I don't know. I think this one feels probably a bit more relatable to the millennial generation compared to something like a Pebble Beach, or even the Masters.
Yeah, I think the other ones are more historic, whereas I think this, like you said, this kind of sings to more of the youth, doesn't it, in terms of noise, entertainment, and madness.
I don't think it's nearly as challenging a hole as some of the other ones.
No, it's quite short as well.
like, Pebble Beach, you've got that massive slope factor to consider going downhill. The Masters, you've got lines of sight.
Wind.
Yeah, wind.
We've all got wind.
Well, but the thing is, at Waste Management, when the hole is completely surrounded by grandstands, there's almost no wind.
Yeah, but there's also no water hazards. So it's there's no.
There's no danger.
I think if you did a stadium like that around every of the iconic par threes, it wouldn't be one of the best ones.
No, it wouldn't. No,
but
agreed.
Because it's the only one, it's yeah.
Why don't more golf courses have?
Because it's pretentious and stuck up sport, and there you go.
But also, most courses don't have the space to build a complete ring grandstand around the par three. Like, you couldn't do it at Pebble Beach because they'd be in the water.
It doesn't have to be a complete ring, but it'd be nice to have more of a grandstand sort of thing.
Well, a lot of them do on the 18th, don't they? They have grandstand that kind of circle at least the top half of the 18th. But
do you know the other hole that I think that's becoming quite iconic? The one is it the one in Dubai, the Emirates Golf Club, with the eagle at the end, the 18th.
Yeah.
That's fast becoming quite iconic, purely because of the number of YouTube videos of people going out and playing golf there, and it being, becoming quite famous from that.
Yeah, I think the other one that's creeping up is that 19th island green they've done at Tiger Woods' golf course,
Paynes Valley.
Yeah, I think that's well. I think it's become popular because it looks cool. Yeah, but it's a 19th hole though, isn't it? It's not part of the actual round.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but because it's not part of the actual round, should it really be considered at all?
It's a golf hole.
I mean, it's the same as like the island green in the JCB.
I'd like to nominate the 8th at Abbey Hill in Milton Keynes.
Yes, it's decent. It's decent. Or the 3rd.
Yeah.
Or the one that's horrible. I mean, is it the 12th? The second on the back 9 is a horrible par 3.
Oh, the 12th when you can't even see it.
Yeah. If you want, people at home, go away and Google the 12th hole. You'll see nothing. So.
Oh no, is it the 17th as well at Abbey over the water?
Yeah, you've just named all the par 3s.
Yeah.
Any par 3 is,
it's treacherous.
Yeah, well, it is. There's very little margin for error, isn't there? Given up some of our abilities as well, so can't go with that. Predictions though for Waste Management.
Brooks looks good.
Jordan Spieth. After he collapsed at Pebble Beach.
Are we doing predictions, or are we just accepting that I'm going to win just by pure luck?
Well, probably I'm going to lose. So.
The first podcast of the year, I got
that's true.
The one correction spot on, I will point out.
Did. That's true.
I will admit that I have not watched that first podcast of the year.
Wow.
That's right. Judging by your 10 meg of Wi-Fi, I don't blame you.
It would have taken you about a week to watch it.
Honesty.
But Siab, I'll tell you what, that is our most watched podcast to date. Over 600 views on the tube.
Go on, people. Or is that just you watching it 600 times because you're bored?
No, it's the people have spoken. It's because I told them the whole podcast was about the Callaway versus the TaylorMade.
Trade tickets. Trade secrets.
But it wasn't. But they clicked. I've mastered YouTube. Give the people what they want to see, and then tell them about Tom's alcohol and wedding plans.
So this is going to be titled like Seb breaks par or something, and or trying a new TaylorMade,
or Spieth almost falls off cliff. And then having that, get more people to watch it. We know what the people want. Give them what they want. But anyway,
if we talk about how dangerous of a hole that was to play, technically we're not lying.
Is it dangerous? No, this is the question. Was it dangerous, or was it just silly?
No, it just looked like it. Whatever, he's never fallen forward about 5 feet in a golf shot in his life. It's just because he was on the edge of a cliff. He was never going to fall forwards, was he? He's never done that.
Well, do you reckon there should be an argument if it's a playable shot, but in order to do so, if they put themselves in danger, it's free relief?
No, you've hit it there. You've hit it there. You can't have a free drop. You have to take a penalty drop or play it and risk breaking your legs.
But I mean that was that I just would say there should be in the drop zone. You shouldn't allow a player to be playing that shot anyway. That should be in the penalty area.
Why?
Because why would you want any single possibility that a player can end up injuring themselves?
Because he was never going to injure himself, because he was not that close to the edge for him to fall off. Because he's a professional golfer and he's not going to fall forwards.
No, he's not going to fall forwards, but all it takes is his back foot slipping and him sliding down. Like, you don't know what can happen.
Yeah, no. It was not as dramatic as they made out.
I thought,
in my opinion.
I'm thinking from the calamities that can befall someone like myself.
I'm sure it wasn't particularly pleasant for him to be standing there, but
Tom, you're not taking into account the high winds at Pebble Beach.
Yes, or the fact that any amount of spray that can happen.
Spray.
Those 90-foot waves.
The ground can be slippery.
That's the sort of excuse any Liverpool fan would come up if they ever lost in a final and be like, "Oh no, the spray from a man's beer in the crowd threw him off."
There's a Chelsea fan that are likely to throw the beer.
Huh? Liverpool fans are the one who ransacked Europe, so I don't
Fans never really get far in Europe.
Pardon?
You don't get far enough in Europe, really.
Didn't we just win the most recent Champions League?
How many times?
We won it the same amount of times as you. We won it more times than you in the last 20 years, so...
How many times have you won it?
That doesn't matter. We won it more times than you in the last 20 years, so you can keep harking back to the 70s if you want.
It wasn't actually the 70s that we won it.
80s, whatever.
Right, children, enough. Right, we'll move on. Obviously, the other big debates over the last couple of weeks has been all the supposed money being offered to various players about the Saudi Invitational, 100 million to Bryson, 20 odd million to Poulter. There's loads of
50 to Westwood.
Yeah, madness.
I 100% believe it. That they would have offered something like that, some stupid, ridiculous money. I don't see how they'd have possibly made that much money back straight away, or even in the short term, unless they were.
Yeah, but it isn't a short-term plan, is it?
Yeah, I think it
isn't, but I just don't see it being successful long term.
No, but they need a face and a key player to get the attention, so they have to offer big money to a big player. That's the only way they can do it. They might not be interested in recouping that from that player. It's just they need a face to kickstart it.
Yeah, but I mean, it just reeks of pure, unadulterated selfishness, lack of understanding or respect for the fans. There's just no respect whatsoever for the sport, and it's just a complete misunderstanding of the sport as well to think that it can be managed in that sort of league way. It just can't really.
Also, choosing Bryson is a weird choice because he is a very polarizing character. So surely you should be going for one of the very popular people.
Yeah, countering that though, playing devil's advocate, a popular person is not going to grab any attention. If Bryson went, it will grab the attention for that exact reason because he does.
No, because if Rory went.
No, but the thing is, I don't think Rory would grab as much attention if he went because he would. No, but because he is so popular, that wouldn't kick up as much fuss. If that makes sense.
No, but then people would want to see it more, and because they like him, and they'd follow him a lot more.
No, but I see the point of Seb's thing because all Bryson's fans would go because little fanboys and whatever. I will swear we want to keep this PG, and all the haters would watch it like me to watch him flop.
Well, no, but you're not watching him flop. It's not like a sport where like he's not playing anyone, and like he's just playing the same golf that he's going to be playing on the PGA Tour. Like he's playing the course rather than everyone else, really. At the end of the day, so
it would be like Lionel Messi going to a terrible league and then not winning anything, or not scoring, or not assisting, and then that's the joy I would get from watching Bryson every time he didn't win in that league, because obviously he'd be playing poorer opposition, and then when he's not doing well, it would bring me great joy.
You can't lose there if he's the only one in the league, Siab.
And he can't really lose if he's making 150 million.
Yeah,
true.
I doubt he cares.
True, but his legacy in golf would forever be lost.
Would he care? No.
Well, but obviously playing the other side again, I guess their argument for doing it is the fact that I know it says it can't work, but is there not the argument that the PGA and the DP kind of have a monopoly on the current setup?
Yeah, they do. But it's interesting. They're going to think about doing like the team aspect of it, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. So you say the PGA Tour and DP World Tour probably have to evolve a little bit. They'll probably force their hand into evolving a little bit, which is probably good. But most breakaway leagues very rarely work in any sport, so I wouldn't. Yeah,
I think it happened with the XFL in the 90s when they tried to break away, when they tried to make a football league in America.
Yeah,
in the 90s, was it? They tried to play spring and summertime football. It lasted for a few years. It just didn't work. The only breakaway league that's worked in the last 30 years has been the Premier League from the English football pyramid. And that's because it's still integrated with the rest of what football has to offer.
Well, I think that's the difference. That's worked because it's still part of the pyramid.
Exactly. No, exactly.
This creates two separate pyramids. That's the issue. Whereas if they treated it as a league system or something, there could be grounds to it, but there's just not.
I think if anything, it should offer the PGA Tour incentive to go off and look at, for example, the Corn Ferry Tour, as to how they can revamp that to make that more integrated with the PGA Tour. It should offer them incentive to see it, like Tom said, bring in that some team elements potentially into the PGA Tour as well. I mean, they tried it. They've tried it at the Pebble Beach with that team part. It does need revamping a bit because they do have a monopoly on it, and these sort of challenges give fresh ideas. But realistically, the likelihood of them actually working out is next to none.
Yeah, no, I agree. It could work the opposite way, like what happened with the Super League in football. They challenged it, so the Champions League changed and they made it worse by adding another league that nobody wanted to see. So it could make it worse at the same time, but who knows? But the question is, should Bryson take it if he has actually been offered it?
Depends what the PGA Tour is saying to him. One, depends how much money, and two, if they're like, well, you can't do any majors or anything like that if you go. Yeah. So it depends. Depends what he values as well. If he values money, he's probably getting paid so much anyway from sponsors and stuff. Like
that's the thing. I think when you're on their sort of money, I think 100 million to us is a different story. But obviously, it's still probably more than what he's got. But it's I don't think it's enough to drop everything.
And thing is, he'd be dropping. At this current moment in time, it's a big risk for him because arguably at the moment he's about as popular a name in golf as there is. Yeah. So either if he does that, he tries to become the next Tiger Woods in a way, or he falls back into insecurity because he chose money over legacy.
But I guess the argument would be like, falls into insecurity, he's still got 150 mil in the bank.
Yeah,
it depends what he values. It's like a footballer moving to China. It depends what they value.
Not anymore. China doesn't have that money anymore.
Well, no, they've got caps. They can just pay everyone else on the team less.
Yeah.
Still give them lots. They just have to pay everyone else pittance. So it could work, but it depends. Like, it's hard to tell with a Bryson because he's so grumpy and moany all the time. It's hard to tell if he's actually enjoying the tour. So,
well, the thing is, he was doing those. Is he still doing those videos of behind the tour seat, behind the tour scenes and stuff?
Yeah. So, which is, it's enjoyable, but it was good because as soon as he started doing it, Netflix go, oh, that can make a good show. Actually, we'll do it for everyone. Steal all his thunder.
I mean, if Netflix are going to do it, they're going to do a decent job.
Well, it's meant to be Drive to Survive for F1, but the equivalent for golf. So it'll be decent, and it'll be good. But yeah, so we'll see. But I looked at the names involved. I don't know if Bryson was actually involved in the shooting of it though.
Is he not?
No, he said he didn't want to be involved. He didn't want to take away from, or it's time to tell other people's stories or some rubbish like that. Yeah. Basically, they didn't pay me enough money, or I'm making more money from my own YouTube channel than they gave me.
No, that's 100% what it'd be. I don't think they would be getting any money. The money would go to the PJ, and it's just part of when you're on the PJ, you have to do X number of press conference. I think it'll be part of that.
I don't be so rigid. The guys will probably get something, but I think it'll be. You guys are right there, just because it's not the right money for him.
Yeah, so he's not in it. You've got Answer, Daniel Berger, Cameron Champ, Finau, Fitzpatrick, Fleetwood, Fowler, Garcia, Higgs, Max, Homer, Hovland, Dustin Johnson, Koepka, Murakara, Kevin Na, and a few others. So yeah, there's you're still missing.
They've got enough names.
Oh, they've
got enough big.
Yeah,
they've got in there the real next person who's going to dominate the sport in Colin, and his best mate Victor.
Yeah, well, Victor started well. Colin needs to pull his finger out a bit this year, but he'll be with it there or thereabouts.
I think he'll always be competitive in a way, though, won't he? Just because of how good his iron player is.
Oh yeah, but I just don't think the other bits of his game are good enough yet. That if his iron play isn't top 5 in every event, that he's gonna. Yeah,
he needs his putting. He needs to up his putt. If he ups his putting game, he'll be untouchable.
Yeah. I don't think for him the driving is as big as it's definitely the putting.
Just depends on the courses, I suppose. Really.
How much do you think the grass plays a difference? Because obviously
a lot.
They're swinging massively from coast to coast, from Middle East part. For some of the guys who are on the European tour as well.
A lot.
Why?
Because of the different grains, how it grows, speeds, how you chip on different sorts of grass, how much bounce you use, the techniques that you use. The club doesn't dig when you're putting. They had new greens in the most recent tournament, which have less defined break in it, so you can't read it as easily. Yeah.
Like you watch some of the tour players analysing the greens, over in Saudi and stuff. It's grain, it's shadow. There's so many different elements. It's mental.
The rough depends because it could be thick or different types of grass that grab your club in it and that sort of stuff. So.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
a lot. Is the short answer.
Yeah, I was also expecting a lot. I like the detail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, there you go. But right, we'll wrap it up with let's go for some predictions for the waste management. Then why not? Let's do it.
Okay.
Jordan Spieth.
I won the last one, so Tom, you go first. Then see how.
Jordan Spieth.
Thought process off the back of a collapse.
Off the back of a very good performance up until a collapse that he's going to be pissed off about.
Experience.
That he's going to be pissed off about.
Yeah, he did look good though. So he looked very dialed in. So yeah.
I'm just going to go safe. Brooks. It's a course he likes. He's confident.
Started well.
Yeah. I just.
Oh, I think I might change. I can't change mine.
No, I might go. Maybe Oosthuizen.
Can I change mine?
Depends who. Tell me who, and I'll decide.
No, because you'll tell me no. I was going to say John Rahm because he's number one. It's Arizona, isn't it? And it's his home state. So
it is his college state, indeed.
he lives there now.
You can have it as a backup option. We'll see.
Depends if he wins or not.
If he wins, you can't have it.
Fine,
Yeah,
fair enough.
if he wins, you can't have it. But if he's like top 10, we'll allow you to have it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm not sure on the theory, but we'll go with it. It makes sense somewhere. But no, we'll wrap it up there. But no, thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one.